Okay, so let's talk about some really fun and juicy topics. Okay. What really freaks you out about university?
The party life.
Okay, the party life. Okay. If we're talking about the US, there are, sororities and fraternities. That's kind of the basis of your whole freshman year. So your first year, you are not legal, you are underage, and so all we can do is kind of go to those parties. But the really cool thing is that every organization hosts parties also. So our South Asian group, they hosted a party every single weekend that were more fun than the fraternity parties. I would go to those more. So there's so many opportunities for different clubs, organizations, off campus, on campus to host these really cool events. Anyone can go. Girls have no issues going wherever. So you can always hop around to different places at night. You can go to really cool restaurants in the evening. So I wouldn't let it intimidate you, but always go with a good group of friends, just so you are safe and you are just feeling very secure with everyone around you. But use these as an opportunity to make new friends too, Be careful with what you take in terms of drinks, in terms of food. Just be careful with what's around you. But just go with a group of friends, and then parties are not intimidating at all. Everything you hear or you're invited to, go and stop by, even if it's for 10 minutes. And if it's not a vibe, leave. That's okay, But definitely as a girl, just be careful. But you're going to be put in a lot of group chats, and you're going to, people in class are going to host parties, and it'll just be really random. Go to everything, and if it's not great, just leave. But try everything. Yeah.
Okay. So how's the dorm life like? Because I've been to the UK a few times. I've been to London, so I'm pretty familiar with how the dorm system is there.
Sure.
I've been to Oxford, so the dorm system there is basically you can either go, you have 3 different types of dorms. You have the super luxurious dorms with the kitchenette, with a lift, with your own private bathrooms.
Yes.
And then you have your modern dorms, which are just a room with a sink and a bed.
Yes.
And it's pretty cozy. Obviously, you don't have any ACs in the UK.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's kind of rough. Okay.
Yeah, and then you have your own shared bathroom, and the old dorms are you have your own separate living space. You have your own separate sleeping space, and obviously again you have a shared bathroom. But in the old dorms, the bathroom is more like Harry Potter style.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a good vibe. Okay, that's awesome.
And then you have, if you don't want to cook or if you don't have means to cook, you have your own lunch hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm just talking about the UK here because I've been there a lot, and I'm very familiar with that. And I've even stayed in a few dorms, and it's for lunch you have a good amount of options for everyone who's vegetarian, vegan, non-vegetarian. So they're very adaptable to your diet.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then in Bath, it's more it's a pretty lit college scene.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So it's you'll probably see people roaming around. You'll see shops open until 12 at night.
Wow. So you're really taking advantage of the city, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And also something to keep in mind about London dorms is that they're very, very small. So I stayed in a London dorm when I studied abroad. Oh my gosh, it was 6 of us sharing one dorm. It was not okay. It was bunk beds. It was very intense. And it was really, really small rooms with one bathroom that you share, and you were paying so much for them. So I think cost of living in London versus Bath,
it's insane.
Very different. It's
insane.
And they pay per week there, so it's very intense in terms of payment. It's very, very crazy. But in terms of the US, everything you just told me about how nice and comfortable, I would always say for the US, you're going to find those options. You will find the living room space, you will find private bathroom, you will find kitchen space. Don't go for them. And I say that because your first year, you should suffer a little bit, okay? You should not want to stay in your dorm. If you are comfortable and you find peace at home in your dorm, that means you're not going to go out at night. That means you're not going to go out to study. That means you'll study in your dorm. You'll cook in your dorm, and you'll do everything in your dorm. Don't feel comfortable in your dorm. Pick the crappiest dorm there is. Pick an ugly dorm, and there's 3 people, and it's a 3-foot box that you're living in. I did it, and because I didn't ever want to be at home, I found my best friends downstairs because our rooms were so small that we would just sit in the common space, and there was cool TVs, and there was games and everything, and there was a pool table, there was a ping pong table. So we would just sit in the sofas until 5 in the morning until we had to just go to our bunk bed and sleep, because we didn't want to just be crammed in our little dorm, you know? And so because we didn't pick the life of luxury, and I didn't even get to pick, I actually enrolled at Baylor so late. I enrolled in like June. I said my like acceptance in June, that I was just, you know, asking for dorms, like give me anything. So they put me in this dorm. It was nice. It wasn't too bad, but I shared a bathroom with everyone in my hall. It was like community bathroom, community showers. It was not a spa by any means, but because I didn't want to be in my room all the time, and I wasn't even that close with my roommate the first year. You're not supposed to be best friends with your freshman year roommate, but because of that, I would just go sit in the hall and I would go hang out with people, and they became my best friends. So it was really cool because like, yeah, I just didn't choose the nicest dorm. So that's like my biggest advice when everyone's like, ew, I want my own bathroom. I'm like, don't want your own bathroom. Be comfortable in the uncomfort. And then, you know, just take it from there. And then your second year, third year, fourth year, you can get a house. I did an apartment. My apartment had a gym. It had like a tanning bed. It had a hammock area, 2 pools. It was very nice. So my second year, I lived in luxury. And my third year, I also lived in luxury. For your first year, though, just give it up. Just be very ratchet, very just uncomfortable in where you live. Okay. So that's kind of dorm life. What else are you like interested in about learning in the US?
So how does your college diet differ from state to state? Because talking about the UK, if you go to London, you'll find something completely different.
Yes.
Then you go to Bath, you go to Oxford. Okay. So because London is a more metropolitan, you find bunch of people from various professions, not only college students. So it's like you have a certain time where everything is super lively. Then after, like at night, it's going to be completely deserted. Whereas in Bath, you'll find someone roaming around everywhere. In Edinburgh, you'll find again, it's completely deserted, but if you know where to look, you'll find people. And then what else? In Oxford, it's like a proper college city, so there are like a lot of pubs, a lot of places that are open till very late at night. You have a lot of South Asian markets, stuff like that.
I love that. It makes you feel at home.
Really so cool. I think that's the best part.
Yeah, that's awesome. So colleges do differ by area. So I went to the South. I was in Texas, and I was in a small city in Texas. So I didn't have like the city. I would go around it, but I was in my Baylor bubble all the time because Waco is not a huge lively city. It's a very small town, and so it's more of Baylor students and then a bunch of people who've retired there or live there, you know. So for me, I was with my Baylor family basically all the time, my Baylor friends, and we would do things around campus and right outside of it. But in the South, just for example, sorority and fraternity life is a very big thing in the South. So that's like culture that's normal there. But if you go to the Northeast, like Boston, New York, people take advantage of the city. So you're going to feel the life very similar to London's. So if you go to Northeastern, if you go to Boston University, if you go to NYU, you're really taking advantage of New York and Boston and Pennsylvania, and you're taking advantage of the cities there. Then if you go to California, all the way on the other side, you're taking advantage of the nature there. People go on hikes. I had friends at UCLA, at USC, and they were, you know, taking advantage of going to downtown. They were going to the beach every day. They were going on, you know, hikes to Hollywood every day. So really taking advantage of the outdoors, which I did not do everywhere, you know? So every state only differs because like the quality of life is different. In Texas, I couldn't hike every day, but in California, when I went to visit, I definitely would, right? So it just differs by like what you make of it and what is available there. If nature is available, people make, you know, the most of it. If the night scene and the clubs and the bars in New York are available, people make the most of that. In Texas, organizations are a really big part of it. So again, my South Asian organization, it was a huge part of my identity at Baylor. So I did a lot of things with them. So I took advantage of that, right? So I would say it differs by state to state because of what's around you, but then also what you make of it. You can definitely do all of those things in every single city, in every country, in every town. So again, it's the same, like you were saying for the UK, it's the same for the US, but just take advantage of all the opportunities kind of offered to you.
And what's the sorority life like? So is it like, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes, a lot of partying, no studying, and like that? Or like we see in the 2000s chick flicks? Or is it more diverse? Is it like, okay, yeah, you are study focused, you're not completely, you're like 100% focused on just partying, stuff like that? Or is it more realistic? What I've been seeing?
It's very weird. It's like a simulation. Like I literally felt like I was in a dream for like 2 years, honestly. So a lot of people join sororities because they just want to make friends. I joined late. So I made my friends my first year. I didn't want my friends only to be from my sorority. So I did my first year, I met my friends in my dorm. I just lived life. And then I had this promise to myself that I will do every single thing Baylor offered me. So any email they sent saying, hey, sign up for this, I signed up. I did it, you know? And sororities was one thing that they said. They said, sign up for this. And I said, okay, let me try. So what you have to do, it's a very demeaning process. It's not fun. And if you look at a picture of my sorority, it was 500 girls with blue eyes and blonde hair and me. And you can see me very, very easily in the sorority picture. Yeah. So it is kind of weird in terms of that. You have to go to this process called Rush, and it's kind of just like it could be from 5 to 7 days of them basically kind of judging you. So you're talking to everyone in the room and you're putting on the best impression of yourself, and you kind of have to wear really nice things, and it's like it's a little bit of a fake process. It's really intimidating, and you know, when I was in it, I was very happy, but in terms of like you know, going through the process, it's a little bit demeaning. So yeah, you kind of have to impress everyone in the room, and then right when you leave the room, they kind of rate you to see if you're like, you know, good for the sorority. Throughout the semester, you have to make connections to get in. I wasn't taking it that seriously, honestly, but I met some really cool people just during my 5 days who rooted for me a lot. I don't know how I got in, but I got into a very good one. And I only got in because I just became friends with the people who I was talking to through those 5 days. They really vouched for me, and I really liked them. So you get to pick them and they pick you. It's like a university process. They have to like you, you have to like them, and then you kind of shake hands and agree. And throughout the 5 days, you some let you go, and then you let some go, and then you kind of have a short list, shorter list, shortest list. And then at the end, there will be 2. You pick them. If they pick you back, you're paired. If they don't pick you back, you're not paired. So it's kind of an intense process. But in terms of partying and stuff, it's what you make of it. I was a very studious student, but I was also in a sorority. So if that meant I would have to go to sorority parties and stuff every couple of weeks, I would do that. And then I was very focused on my school. I was very focused on my South Asian organization. I did everything. So
what about people who are antisocial like me? So like
antisocial.
I'm very antisocial.
No.
So it's like, you know, people who don't make friends that easily, or who find it very awkward to go up to a person and start talking, or who are just like, you know, very socially awkward. Yeah. I mean, I would describe myself here. So how would you say people can, you know, overcome that in university, or how can they still make friends?
Totally. Well, firstly, I don't think you're socially awkward. You're very easy to talk to. But secondly, I think everyone's in the same boat. Even the people, I'm very extroverted, so I can go talk to a wall and I'll be okay, right? But at university, I will feel the same as everyone else. You don't know who's extroverted. You don't know who's introverted. Everyone just kind of feels sad when they get to uni. They're very excited because uni is very exciting. But in terms of like, you're very overwhelmed, you know, when you get there. There's a lot of stimulation around you, and you're just, overstimulated. And so what I would say is find any opportunity to talk to someone, even if that means saying, yo, this food is so bad, or, you know, hey, our teacher is like kind of funny, or, you know, like any small talk you can make that small talk. It could start off a really cool friendship and you wouldn't even know it. So talk to everyone. Some of those conversations will not be fun, and some will be so fun that they'll become your friends. But again, like I said before, attend everything and talk to everyone. You have to put yourself out there. You really do, because they're all in the same boat as you. And I promise there's going to be so many people just like you who are scared to make that conversation, but they're not getting the advice, right? So just go and talk to someone, and you put in the first effort, put in the first step. Okay? Awesome. Any other questions you have for me?
I would say, what should you do right after you arrive at university?
Yes.
So for me, for both of us, it would have been like, we're from a different country altogether. So it's like, you know, adjusting to completely different cultures, even with the UK and the US. So what do you recommend is the first thing you should do as soon as you land, or as soon as you arrive to university?
Firstly, obviously the technical stuff. So get a SIM card, get your phone, laptop, whatever, adjust all your settings and stuff. Get your dorm stuff, set up your dorm, make it really you, because even if you're not spending any minute there, it's still where you're living. And just kind of get sorted in terms of your classes. You're going to realize when you get to university, you have a lot of freedom in choosing your activities, choosing your courses, choosing your teachers. By the way, never take a teacher in the US unless they are an A on Rate My Professors. It's this website. It's called ratemyprofessors.com. And oh my gosh, if a teacher was ranked under an A, it would show. Like in class, they were not the best. So I would only take teachers that were rated really well. But there's all these like hacks and gimmicks. So maybe find a mentor over there that will tell you these things and kind of help you like learn the ropes. And I would say find happy places on campus. When I studied abroad in London, I was in very central London. So Regent's Park was my happy place. I loved it. And if I ever felt sad or homesick, I would just go take a walk and it made me feel really happy. In Waco, I found my happy place, honestly, in the like hammocks outside the library. It was so beautiful and calm and you could see everyone walking their dogs. And it just made me happy. So find a place that makes you happy. And I will say one thing, freshman 15 is so real. Like, oh my gosh, you are going to have access to dining halls where you have no limits to how much you can eat. So just be careful, just stay healthy, stay active, find a gym near you, find a dining hall that serves the food you want if you have any dietary restrictions, but just get comfortable with your environment, learn Google Maps really well, and just, get sorted and find what makes you happy there. Okay, awesome. So it was really lovely talking to you and just learning about, all of the thoughts you have as a scared high school student, which is so fair. I hope I was able to answer some questions for you. I'm really happy to have learned all about your experiences. And I hope maybe I've convinced you a little bit to go to the U.S. maybe for university.
I think, yeah, definitely.
Just a little bit. Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much for being here with me today. And thank you guys so much for listening to our first podcast. If you have any other ideas or suggestions, please put it in the comments below. We really hope you follow us for more content on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Spotify. And please click below to learn more. Thank you so much and join us soon.